Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to Silent Thunder. Once again, I was listening to something in the background, so Shadowplay just decided not to record this, and that's okay. Chronicles was my lesson for the night, and not yours. Anyway, 4 bombs out, and 2 kills. And I knew that people were capping the C point, and I was hoping that that R3T20 was there. Oh, a techies. Hats off to you. But he killed me earlier in the match, so I felt like returning the favor. And I think that was a pretty good demonstration of skill and luck there in the A20. This is actually an attacker that I haven't spent a whole lot of time in, mostly because the A36? I can't remember what the number is on that thing, but basically it's an early Mustang that's an attacker, and it's absolutely delightful. I tend to prefer it over this beast, mostly just because this plane here is, well, heavier, a little bit more lumbering and a large target, and with some lockup as well. But it really is a good aircraft, and when compared with most other nations' offerings for CAS, it is excellent. The only fact that it's in the American tree, where there's so many fantastic CAS options, is the only thing that holds it back. And you can see, you can easily delete a BF-110. So we're having a good match already as this, I think, why is it a Spitfire? It didn't look like the Italian Spitfire. Whose Spitfire is that? It might have been the Italian one. They have, what, 220s and 4 7.7s in the wings? I think that was about the right amount of flashes coming my way. And I have a hard time believing that 7.7s alone would deal that amount of damage. But he thought he'd get me with the fire, and he thought wrong. But unfortunately, we're still not going to survive. This engine knocked out, and if I didn't have so much damage to my fuselage, or especially to that one wing, then I might have been able to make it back to the airfield. And we really do give it the old college try, but tweren't to be. And you know what? That's okay. We did enough damage that we were able to come back in our new YP-38. So this is the replacement for the XP-38 in the American Pacific Campaign Pack that is, as of the making of this video, 60% off on humblebundle.com. So go to Humble Bundle. The best way to find this one is actually to look up the European Canadians video on the deals that are going on right now, and take his affiliate link to Humble Bundle. That helps him out, and that money that he gets sent from that actually goes to a good cause. So feel free to do that. Now, a brief summary of my experiences in the YP-38. This is the first time I've flown it in anger, and I really was pleased with the aircraft. All of the P-38s are fairly consistent in that they have that death beam that, if you get on target, is just absolutely glorious. They have a good climb rate when compared with their peers. They have very smooth handling, lots of wing surface area, so these things don't have bad stall characteristics. They have fairly good low speed handling, and their high speed handling is also pretty good. Now, because this is a very, very early model of the P-38, it suffers some unique issues that definitely justify its place at a 3.0 battle rating. But when compared with other heavy fighters, the YP-38 definitely comes out on top in terms of maneuverability, engine power, and overall just effective fighter design in an anti-air role. It's not a light fighter, and that shows, but it's a fantastic boom and zoom aircraft that should fit perfectly with the habits of a disciplined and educated American pilot. And if you lack those things, then the amount of forward-facing firepower is definitely all the more welcome. And what is that? A 37mm M4 cannon with 15 rounds of ammunition. So this is the same cannon that you find on the P-36s, and yet it has a very, very limited ammo selection. You can actually carry a half and half high explosive and APT rounds, which have 43 millimeters of pen at best, but they're just not going to hit their target, so don't bother. And even when they do, the 37 AP rounds just don't do the amount of damage you need them to. There's no high explosive filler, and there's almost no shrapneling, so they're just not on par with your top anti-tank rounds. They're also not fantastic in an anti-air role because of the aforementioned poor accuracy, which is only enhanced, things that computers can't do, but it's only enhanced by the fact that you only have 15 rounds of ammunition. So if you want to just ignore the fact that you have a 37 in the nose, that's probably a decent idea. Or otherwise, you could use those 37mm rounds early against things like enemy bombers, which are much more likely to take hits and very likely to take severe damage from those hits. The 37 high explosives still being very capable of one-shotting an enemy fighter, but also known for sparking, and I even got a spark in a test flight on one of the test aircraft that you can try and shoot down. And then I blew him up proper with the next hit, but that is, again, a serious issue, and you basically just want to not rely on the 37 with this thing. It's good for plinking at bombers at somewhat extended ranges, and if you really get a good feel for it, firing one shot at a time, you can have decent accuracy, although the muzzle velocity is still going to be unimpressive. All of that said, though, the 250 cals and 2 rifle caliber machine guns in the nose. That's right, it's not 450 cals for this thing. It's 2 machine guns and 2 heavy machine guns, and that does make a difference. They still have fantastic firepower in a concentrated area. They're very capable of shooting down enemy fighters of all kinds. You might have a little bit more trouble with heavy aircraft, but you also encounter less of them at this BR. You are still capable of seeing things like the BV-238, but that's what your 37mm cannon's for now, isn't it? And overall, I noticed in every way that this is a less capable aircraft than the XP-38 that it replaces. It's also a much more realistic aircraft, and as a bonus note, the hydraulic system on this works fairly well. The wheels come down really fast, so that's actually something that you don't always see in aircraft at this BR, and that's helpful if you're coming in hot and heavy with an engine knocked out, as you see here. The gear also reasonably reliable, and once again, you're dealing with a P-38, a very capable aircraft. So if you like the P-38s, this is worth picking up. If you're interested in 850 Golden Eagles, and what is after that basically a free airplane. I think it ended up being around $6 or something like that after the discounts that are going on right now. So even if you want to pick up some Golden Eagles, that's a good way to do it, and you get an aircraft on top of that. And if you don't have the Pacific campaign already, you get some single player missions that you can enjoy at your leisure in the game of War Thunder. Yes, this game does have single-player missions, and yes, they're not all that impressive when compared with the incredibly... I'm going to say it. This is a refined product that we're playing, this game, War Thunder. It's been refined again and again and again. And even if it seems like somebody is pissing in the water sometimes, my friends, that's just Russian vodka. It's supposed to taste like that. And if you don't enjoy it, then there's lots of other things to experience in this life. You don't need to be here. Anyway, all of this is to say, I had a good time in my new aircraft. I'm enjoying it. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I am, and that just comes down to the fact that it is worse in every way in terms of the stat card when compared with every other P-38. This is the worst P-38 in the game, and it is a delight. It's a rank 2 premium. It has a decent modifier for SL, but you're not going to be researching the entire American air tree with this thing. It does sit at a good battle rating and a comfortable place for grinding SL, and I think that's really what it's best for in terms of the game meta, but I would especially recommend this to collectors. If you already have the XP-38, it's a nice addition to your collection, but if you're playing higher than a 3.0 battle rating, there's really no special reason to take this aircraft over literally anything else. The American tech tree is full of a lot of good vehicles, and the premiums are also fantastic. Like other P-38s, you know what, I'm just gonna finish it off with, this is just like all the other P-38s as far as I've noticed, except that it has a bit less reliable firepower, which does make a difference, and slightly worse performance, because again, this is the earliest model of a P-38 we have in the game. It's based on something that actually existed. And that is why this aircraft is replacing the XP-38 in the Pacific campaign for the Americans. I'm happy that I got my XP-38 before it was, long before it was replaced with this aircraft, and I wouldn't expect to see the XP-38 ever on offer again in War Thunder. It's not a historically accurate model, so I believe that's the reason it was actually removed. Now look at the low speed maneuverability, even with a almost completely crippled elevator, which, by the way, Gaijin, I noticed that you increased the durability of elevators and reduced the amount of times that your elevator just snaps off, and I laud you, sir. I appreciate you for that. But not a terrible game, but definitely an enjoyable experience, and that is exactly what's going to happen in this replay. That who sent it to me? Of course, it's AmFam's very own Make the Screen Bigger Toshio nawa11. Sorry, nawa11. I keep forgetting the man's name is Noah, and it's nice to hear from him, by the way. I have been getting back into Bible study. I used to be a youth pastor, so I mean, I kind of still am. It's just that I'm not doing any youth pastor stuff right now. I'm raising my own kids instead. But I was a youth pastor, and before that, I was a huge Bible enthusiast, and I always have been. But I don't know, I just haven't been studying as much lately, and I got back into it. I talked about the audio Bible that I was listening to, by the way, free resource on blueletterbible.com, and I also talked a little bit about the Bible with Noah, because he is a guy who was not raised with a lot of understanding about Christians, so he was interested in learning what I had to say for us. And as far as I'm concerned, Well, you know what? Why don't we just watch this match? Anyway, it's nice to hear from him again after all that I talked about Christianity and the Bible with him, because that can be something that can be a little bit confrontational, and I definitely don't shy away from that. But you've probably noticed that I love people, and it's nice to see that I haven't scared Noah off. Anyway, this is a full up tier, as you can probably tell by now. Our guy in the Japanese tank destroyer Ho-Ri prototype is introducing the enemy to the meaning of fear, and that takedown on the Stridswagen earlier, the S-Tank. Oh, I love you too, baby. Come here, I'm making a video. Do you want to be in my video? This is a tank video. This is Brooklyn. This is my beautiful daughter. Guppy, say hi.
Yeah, Daddy.
Yeah, baby, what?
Daddy, you can see the video?
Yeah, I can see the video. Look, see the tank?
I can see it.
Can you say Ho-Ri prototype?
Ho-Ri prototype.
That's right. This is the
Can you
Ho-Ri
put my
prototype.
headphone?
The Ho-Ri prototype is an OP premium. Can you say OP premium? Yeah, try on your Pikachu headphones and see if they hit you. You don't want to pull on the cord so much. They might not work. Okay, can you hear anything?
I can hear.
Yeah, you can hear? Well, that's good. I'm not sure how you hear because I haven't plugged it into my part of the computer, but I'm glad you're enjoying the experience. And speaking of, Noah already, yes baby, up to 6 kills defending the cap zone. It doesn't plug into that, baby. That would be not good for your headphones, because that's a power outlet. Say power outlet.
Power outlet.
Say electricity. Yeah.
I'm going to change the button on to change all
And
those lights
up to this
on.
point, Noah has been playing very well,
Daddy,
and then he missed a shot on Tiger 2.
I want to press the button and all the buttons
No,
came on.
we're not going to push those buttons right now because I turned those off already. But then he gets the cannon barrel shot on Tiger 2, bounces the shot with his thick side armor from the Panther, who should have, what, upwards of 180 mils of pen, I think, something like that, on his AP HE round, and yet the Japanese casemate style, you could call it the Sino Ferdinand, or you could just call it Japan's OP premium. This is the heaviest heavy vehicle that Japan has on offer for its World War II style homegrown vehicles, and it kind of shows, but you can tell that this is the tank destroyer of the lake, mysterious, not really available for in-depth testing, and that does lead to it having slightly better performance than things that have been thoroughly tested and have more stats in the game. The reason I say that is people that build fighting vehicles tend to lie about their performance. I suspect that the Ho-Ri probably didn't move as well in real life as it does in War Thunder, and you know what? I'm totally fine with that because it's a delightful vehicle, and if it has any issues, well, you can just bump it up in VR again. And yet, you see, even in a 7.7 match, the Ho-Ri, and this might actually be the Ho-Ri production now that I think about it, but I don't know.
I'm tired.
Excuse me. Sorry for coughing. You tired? Okay, baby, go lay on the couch. Do you need anything?
I want the shisha.
You want a tablet? Are your tablet's charging right now, baby? So you gotta go pick it up.
I want the pink one.
Yeah, the pink one? Okay, go get the pink tablet, baby. Some you just brush your teeth, baby. Okay, go get the tablet. Yeah, I know. Just a minute, baby. Daddy's making a video. So, Noah, having held the line, picking up 8 kills in the process, is going to accomplish victory, and that's a good place to shut it off for tonight. It's been a long day. It's going to be a long night, and hopefully I'll get some good sleep. Guys, I've been kind of busy with Life, Liberty, and Genshin Impact, as you may have noticed, but I'm just also trying to take a little bit more time to, I don't know, focus on my kids, and then also just kind of relax and take it easy, and I've been enjoying that. But I definitely want to hear from you guys on the Discord. I love being able to interact with people and have a social life, especially now, and that's really where my social life is, so feel free to join me there. Link in the description below, and of course that's a good place to send me your replays as well. So congrats to nawa11. He did a great job. That did end up being a victory for his team, and good night to you all. Bye bye. Guppy, say good night.